But it's, again, it just tells the story of it's the evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
This is Frankie Rose's Think Tank. Here's your host, Frankie Rose.
Hey guys, welcome to the Think Tank. So we are watching once again the trial for the cop who allegedly unalived his wife, I don't know, in the bathtub, but that's where she ended up. And he is saying that it is a case of self-harm. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. They're prosecuting him for some reason. Wow, there has been a lot of this going on lately. The missing kids and the parents, like what? And a lot of times it's the moms. Unreal. So I am going to keep my eyes peeled for James Crumbley's trial. And as soon as it starts, I think we should jump over there and watch it. We've done the mother, we've been going through the Miller hearings. So I think it's appropriate to end with the father. So yeah, I don't think jury selection is going to take the rest of today. They started yesterday and they're starting again today. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. And I think you're right, Shauna. I think it's going to be a little tougher on James than it was on the wife. My thoughts too. My thoughts too. So for this case, are we going to find out that Daniel Howard did this to his wife? What do you guys think? I don't know. I don't know. They're saying that the shot itself was in a weird position. Even the fact that a weapon was used is unusual. There is a lot of really unusual factors in this case. I'll go there. So, yeah. And they've got the weirdest hours. So I'm sorry if I messed everybody up. I thought they were starting at 8, which is 9 our time, but it turned out that it's 9, so 10 my time. And you know, that makes for a long day of trial, especially when you're up at 4 in the morning waiting for it to start. Unreal. So they should be in maybe about 7, 8 minutes tops. They'll be starting up there. And yeah, like I said, in the meantime, I'm going to absolutely keep my eyes peeled because I do believe that he's looking for a little bit of trouble for his part in that weapon. And like I say, as far as this goes, the wife was known to dislike these weapons, didn't really like them around. I was watching something yesterday, and I don't know if it was her that had called the cops, but somehow the cops ended up there. She was terrified, didn't want to talk to them. And by the end of it, she was packing up and leaving the house. So there was also talk about a possible magazine being left on the floor or being on the floor that she noticed. She said she had woken up and he was standing over her with gloves on. This is what they're saying. So yeah, it's something else, guys. All of these cases that we've been covering, you know, there's been a lot of them. We're still looking for little Elijah. So I do have some videos about him. And if he's not found in the next day or so, I might do an update on that case. Madeline Soto, sadly, we do know who did this to her. It was her stepdad, allegedly. But now they're looking at the mom. because the mom was saying a lot of things that just didn't jive. Things like, "We dropped her off," and "We did this." And, by the next time you really see her, she's on an interview, and she says, "Oh, it wasn't me. It was him that dropped her off. I didn't see her at all." So she's saying that the night before, the birthday night, that she came home and seen her for a few minutes, talked to her about what was going on, and, didn't see her in the morning because she was sleeping. So did she drop her off with this guy or did she not? They're looking at her. You can't go around talking like that to the cops and then go on air and talk like, does she think the cops don't watch TV? Good morning, Gary. Good to see you, Fran. What time is it there? I'm so screwed up with these hours right now. And don't forget, we got daylight savings coming this weekend too. So there is that. But a little more sunshine, right? A little more sunshine. So as soon as they pop up there, I will add them to the screen. 10:56. Oh, so you're an hour different, an hour faster, an hour ahead. Okay. Okay. Are you enjoying? I think about you and your little island paradise all the time. Like, what a spot to end up in, friend. I envy you. I envy you. Maybe I can talk hubby into like going there for vacation and seeing if he likes something. They say he can work from anywhere. Doesn't matter where he's planted. Let's see here what's going on. KKK. I can't get into Facebook, Dandy. Can you believe it? They gave me trouble for not posting enough. Like they said I think it was 190 days or something to get my channel up and going there again. And I said, no, 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 no. So they can have that platform. If they're going to be that picky, about how I use my own platform, they can have it. They monitor the shite out of those things anyways. It's tough, but somebody's got to do it. Do you know what, Carrie? So has YouTube. Last night I did a live and my counter said there was 700 people. I watched it crawl up, 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 stay at the same for a bit and then crawl up and up and up. And it was over 700 on my counter. And when I woke up this morning, there was only 56 views. I think it was 50 something views. So what? I mean, it went up gradually like it usually does. So what happened there? I have no idea, but I tell you what, that's not impressive to this little lady at all. I don't know which one was accurate. WhatsApp, Messenger, ET, everything. So I don't know. Is something going on out there? Is something going on out there? Are we being monitored? Like, geez. That's him there that just turned around. Yeah, it really, I was not happy with that at all. It's like, what the hell? Who's telling the truth? Ooh. Thanks, Dandy. Update on Madeline Soto investigation. Our detectives and forensic units are working tirelessly to uncover the truth behind this heartbreaking incident. At this time, we are unable to release any further information as this remains an active and sensitive investigation. We understand your desire for updates, and we will assure you that every effort is being made to get justice for Madeline. As our community continues to heal, please know that your safety and well-being remain our top priority. We appreciate your patience and cooperation during this difficult time. Wow. I appreciate that, Dandy. Thank you. Yeah, and you know what? I went through mine too, and it didn't catch anything. So I don't know. Like, is somebody messing with our stuff so they can shut it all down? And Canada and US have nothing? It's suspicious to me. It's okay, Jazzy. Okay, I'm going to mute. Jazzy's about to bark. I think she's done. I should find how much it costs to fly to Roatan.
There's one matter that the state is hoping that we can clarify on the record. It is in relation to the release of witnesses from their subpoenas. The state has quite an extensive witness list. It is the state's understanding in speaking with many of our witnesses that they have only been subpoenaed by the state. They have not received subpoenas from defense witnesses. Certainly, we understand that there is a witness that yesterday was told by the court that she was subject to recall, and that is specific to Michelle Lampert. But as such, the state has been functioning under the assumption, as we all know, assumptions are often dangerous, that once we release our witnesses, that they are released. And we have not been doing that on the record, and perhaps that we should.
Mr. Johnson? Your Honor, the state only requested to release on the first day. There was no request to release. We had no objection to probably resubpoena next well, but the entity present. So the other two witnesses from the first day, we have no problem. There's an issue with Ms. Bonhoeffer. The court wants me to subpoena her. She works 2 blocks over from here. As far as Mr. Prado, the request is made, we release them. So I think that's the issue. They ask if there's an issue, we raise it.
So you haven't independently subpoenaed any of their witnesses?
Not theirs yet. We begin part of this time.
Okay. I understood you were intending perhaps to recall Ms. Lampert.
Do these people not use their microphones?
Then we can subpoena her.
Yeah, I guess to clarify, if they're not under subpoena from you, and they've testified to the extent the state wants them to, they're released. I mean, they're under the state subpoena, so if the state lets them go, the state lets them go. If I guess the issue to me is less about whether or not they're released, but whether or not they're still subject to the witness exclusion order. And so, for example, with Ms. Lambert, where you made it clear that she's going to be recalled, I guess I should say she can be released from her subpoena, but she shouldn't come into the gallery because the witness exclusion rule still applies. So to the extent that the defense has indicated, yeah, I'm going to recall her, then that's fine. Otherwise, I think some witnesses have been released and have come back into the courtroom, and I don't have an issue with that, but you need to, if you have an issue, you need to tell me ahead of time. For example, I think Mr. Prado came back in after his testimony because he was released. I guess I'll just ask the defense to let me know if that's a witness you're intending to subpoena or call in the future, and that they're subject still to the exclusion order. But in terms of being under subpoena from the state required to be here, if the state's done on them, they're done. Understand? Does that help?
It does, Your Honor, thank you. And just for a brief record, Ms. Marhofer, who did previously testify, the state anticipated that she may be subject to recall by the state or by the defense, and so she has not been in the courtroom at all.
Okay. Thank you. Let's go ahead and bring in the jury then.
Yeah, YouTube's really screwing up. It said that I had over 700 by the end of my stream last night. When I got off, it said just over 30. And this morning when I got up, it was just over 50. So how many were really watching? And what is that? It doesn't make a creator very bloody happy to see all of that and then get up and they give you 50. I don't understand which is wrong. The 700 or the 50. Unneeded update. Brutal. Don't cry, Lizzie. She wants my attention. I certainly wasn't impressed. We should make a platform, Mom, in Roatan.
My walker, Shannon's on the Zoom, and she's here in person, so that's the guy who's sitting back there. She just assists me throughout the trial. Okay, we're ready to continue. Statement calls next witness.
You're going to state calls Tina Tipke.
Tina Tipke?
Tipke.
Thank you. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning. If you could come forward here, please. If you face my clerk and raise your right hand, please.
You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give is to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Thank you, ma'am. If you'd have a seat there, the witness stand. You may inquire, Ms. Mortensen.
Thank you. Ma'am, could you please advise the jury what your name is and spell your name?
My name is Tina Tipke, T-I-P-K.
And Ms. Tipke, are you currently employed?
No, I'm
Retired. And where did you retire from?
Cuban County 911 Center.
And so were you a dispatcher at the 911 center?
Dispatcher call taker.
And how long were you a dispatcher for Cuban County?
21 years.
Congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you.
Did you work at the 911 center with Janice Wadsworth?
Yes.
And as a dispatcher, did you use the same CAD system and recording systems that Janice uses?
Yes.
Were you working as a dispatcher on February 2nd, 2021?
Yes.
And on that date, do you remember receiving a 911 call just before 10:45 in the evening from a Dan Howard?
Yes.
And pursuant to that 911 call, did you dispatch any responders to his location?
I was leaving my partner may have where I was. The calls taken in and going.
Okay. And may I approach your honor?
May.
Ms. Tipke, I'm showing you it's been marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit 7A. Are you familiar with that exhibit?
Yes, I am.
And that's a CD or a compact disc, correct?
Yes.
And are you familiar with the contents of that disc?
Yes.
And what is that exhibit?
It is the CD of the audio call that was taken when he called.
So this is the audio of the 911 call you just spoke of?
Correct.
Have you had a chance to listen to that audio?
Yes, I have.
Is it true and accurate as you remember it happening on February 2nd, 2021?
To my knowledge, yes.
And I'm going to show you it's been marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit 7B. Do you recognize that exhibit?
Yes.
And what is 7B?
It's the transcribed call on the CD.
Okay. And do you see your initials on the CD?
Yes.
Do you see your initials on the transcript?
Yes.
Were you able to listen to the audio as you read along with the transcript?
Yes.
And were you able to determine that they are identical?
Yes.
Is that why you initialed them?
Yes.
So the transcript is true and accurate like the audio?
To my knowledge, yes, it is. They match.
Your Honor, at this time I move to omit plaintiffs 7A and 7B into the record.
No objection. 7A and 7B are admitted.
And Your Honor, I would also like to publish the audio for the jury, and I'd also like to give each of the jury members copies of the transcripts to follow along with as they listen to the audio and for their binders.
You may do so.
What are we listening to?
I want you to step out. Can you go up to the first floor for me? Do you have a detour that we need to get in? Yeah, okay, so. Do you have a detour back in the house? Vice President? Dan? Dan?
This is Lord Murphy.
I need to go down to the front door. Okay, can you do that? I need to go down to the front door.
Unreal. Lordy, lordy, lordy. I didn't understand a word that man said.
No further questions of this witness. Thank you. Cross-examination.
Morning. Thank you for coming today. I have no questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. You guys have
All righty then. Just like that.
Deputy Thomas is next.
Deputy Thomas. Deputy Thomas.
It's brutal. Like, you can't hear a word they're saying. And although they transcribe it on the bottom of the screen, it's not very accurate.
Mayor, are you Deputy Thomas? Can you come forward, please? I'll have you.
You face my turkey, as he said.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you have given this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. If you have a seat, ma'am, put this stand. You may have.
Thanks, Judge. Ma'am, will you please state your full name and spell your last?
Miranda Thomas and Thomas.
How are you employed?
I'm a patrol deputy with the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you been employed?
Almost 4 years.
And are you post certified?
Yes.
And I have that as well.
I have full arrest powers in Idaho.
Back in February, specifically February 2nd, 2021, you were working as a patrol deputy with the Sheriff's Department.
Yes, sir.
How new of a patrol deputy were you back then?
In patrol, I had only swapped over in August of 2020.
So pretty much brand new.
Mhm.
On that particular evening, what was your shift?
Graveyards.
Okay, and those hours were what?
At the time, they were 10 p.m. to 8 a.m.
At some point when you dispatched out to residents in half of Kootenai County, Idaho,
Yes.
what time was that?
Around 10 to 11 at night. I don't know the exact time.
What was the nature of the call?
It was aired as a suicide attempt.
How long did it take you to get there?
About 20 minutes.
Were you in a patrol car by yourself?
Yes.
When you got there, were other deputies still arriving?
Yes.
Did you wait for a while?
Yes.
What was the purpose of that?
We all decided that we were going to go in together due to the nature of the call because there was a gun involved and whatnot.
So approximately how many?
Sorry. Can you just pull that microphone a little closer to you and try and speak into that?
How about that?
That's better. Thank you.
Approximately how many deputies then gathered before going to that residence?
The lawyers need to do
4
the
deputies
same.
and a sergeant.
Do you remember the address that you responded to?
I don't remember the numerics, but I remember the street. Wheat Ridge off of Highway 54.
Where did you all park or stage before you walked to the residence?
Just east of that road. Pulled over on the north side.
Describe what you could see and or hear as you approached the residence.
As we were driving up, we couldn't see or hear anything.
I mean, once you got on foot after you left the car.
We saw Neil exit the front door of the house screaming,
What was he screaming?
"Oh my God," and just some of it was inaudible or unintelligible, just moaning and screaming.
Did you later identify him
Yes.
as?
Daniel Howard?
Is he here today?
Yes.
Can you please point out, describe where he's seated?
He's
Tell us what
seated
he's wearing.
to your left in a gray suit.
Thank you. What was the nature of your duties that evening?
I, for the majority of it, sat with Dan as he introduced himself.
Okay. At one point, did you go into the house
Yes.
and did you make any notations on your inside the house? Did you know anything?
Yes.
What was that?
When I walked downstairs, I found a packed Victoria's Secret duffel bag. I noted that one of the washing machines was running, and we walked through and noticed that all the sinks were dry.
Was it the washer running or the dryer?
I believe it was the washer, it was the one on the left, if you look in the room from the doorway.
You know for certain that it was the dryer or the
No,
washer?
I didn't check which one.
Just that one of those things was running when you got there?
Yes.
Was the Victoria's Secret bag open or closed?
Open.
Could you see the contents?
Yeah, it appeared to be women's clothes.
Did it appear to be packed?
Yes.
Was the nature of your assignment that you need to be with Mr. Howard outside as well as later inside the
Yes.
residence? And so, were you able to know his behavior outside as well as inside?
Yes.
Can you describe his behavior?
Outside, he was moaning and yelling. He would scream, "Oh my God!" He would ask what was going on, what were we doing. He would gag every so often and hold his knees, bend over in distress, or moan as if he was crying. But inside, he was more angry than upset.
What do you mean by that, more angry than upset?
He was angry with us for not allowing his son to come to the house. He would slam his fists on the counter.
Did he cover his face up with his hands at times?
Objection.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Leading the order.
Overall.
How often?
Very often.
Could you see when he was making these moaning noises, when he was acting in behavior that you described to us, whether or not he had actual tears?
At no point did I observe any tears throughout the night.
At one point in the evening, did you take note of the shirt that he was wearing?
Yes.
What caught your attention?
There appeared to be deodorant marks on his shirt.
And why did that get your attention?
Because by that time it was almost midnight. And most people, if you put your clothes on in the morning and get deodorant on them, it's gone by midnight.
Were you wearing a body cam that evening?
Yes, sir.
And did that capture your contact with Mr. Howard outside the residence,
Yes, sir.
as well as inside the residence?
I believe so.
Let me show you a couple of exhibits that have been marked already. Eight A, 8B. Can you look at 8A?
Yes, I do. sir, please.
And then take a look at the next one, if you want to recognize that.
I do.
What do you recognize that?
It's the transcript of that one again.
Is that an accurate transcript of 8A?
Yes, sir.
You're to be at 8A and 8B?
Any objection? Those will be admitted.
Move the public hearing.
You may. Can we get the lights again with the video cover?
Oh no. More garbling. I hope not.
For the rest of the jury, can you still read okay if we do that? Okay.
Sir, where is she? Upstairs? Sir, what's your first name? Dan? Dan, can you have a seat for me? Yeah, you can sit if that's better for you. If that's better for you. I'm just trying to make you a little more comfortable, okay? Dan, my name's Miranda, okay? Dan, what can I do to help you right now? Okay. I can see that knife, don't reach for it. Cool. Thank you, sir. Sir, do you have anything else in your pockets? Okay. I know you're retired, right? Okay.
What's going on?
Sir, they have to do their job.
What is it?
They're gonna hold the seat in there, medical's gonna go in there. They're gonna do their job.
Medical's gonna go in there and do their thing. This is their scene now.
Sir, stay over here with us. We're gonna let them come up.
It's bizarre. He keeps his back to them.
You still better standing? I want you to pass out right now.
Is he hiding his hands? That makes sense. That one hand is consistently in his pocket, which I just find it odd. And no tears, she said. All that noise, gagging, and no tears? That makes no sense to me. Just odd that his back is to everyone.
Dan, you don't let him look at you at all? No. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, right, Carrie? I wouldn't be dry heaving. I'd be hurling. And it doesn't look like he's got any of that red stuff on him. So, I mean, maybe there is. It's dark out. But I figured he would have had it all over him from trying to do something. Even if there's nothing you can do, I don't think your mind would grasp that right away.
Can you tell us anything?
Just risks instead of.
Yeah.
So risks instead of potential. Yeah. Almost there is honest.
Yeah, he was pretty pathetic at it too, wasn't he?
You were there. For that photo.
Yikes.
Is there anything I can do to help you? I know that's a stupid question, really, given the circumstances.
Like, you'd think he'd have it all over his arms, and I mean, my dog broke his jaw and I was covered in the stuff. So how is he not? Oh God. What did you just walk away from him? Yeah, look what you did. In my opinion. Wow. Unreal.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
So you said you met with a group of officers prior to responding to the house,
Yes.
and where was that at?
Where was that at? Just east of the residence on Highway 54, parked on the north side.
And at that time, did you become aware of a prior response to that residence a few days?
Yes.
And were you aware that Ms. Howard had left the residence?
No.
So you don't know that bag, whether it was coming or going?
Correct.
Do you know when Ann had taken a shower on it?
No.
Do you know if it was day or night shifts?
No.
And
Come on,
you
Bubbles.
said that at this point you had just finished. When did you finish your post?
Like the academy?
Yes.
June of the year before?
And then there's a process where you do training where you're with officers.
Yes.
And when did you finish your?
January of 2021?
And in that, would you agree that had you ever previously met Ann before?
No.
Have you ever had an encounter to see how he reacts to stress or shock?
No.
Can you read her? Okay. Thank you, ma'am. You missed it.
Thank you.
Lieutenant Sifford is next.
She didn't seem to really like him, did she?
Where is it? Maybe you go forward. Space my third, raise your right hand, please.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this
I hope we don't have to listen to him blubber anymore.
Zachary Sifford, Sifford.
How are you currently employed?
With the Cuny County Sheriff's Office.
What do you do there?
I'm a patrol lieutenant.
How long have you been with the sheriff's department?
Since 2015.
As a patrol lieutenant, what are your duties?
Administrative duties for the patrol division, scheduling.
Certified?
Yes, sir.
What level?
Advanced.
Were you working on February 2nd, 2021?
I was.
What was your rank then?
I was a patrol sergeant.
What were your duties then?
I led a shift, I led a graveyard shift at the time, so between 4 to 6 deputies.
At some point on the evening of February 2nd, 2021, did you and a group of deputies respond to the Howard residence at the White House?
Yes, it did.
About what time was this?
I'd have to look at it was late in the evening. We just come on to shift, so it'd be later evening hours.
When you got to the Howard residence, did the group of you wait until everybody was assembled?
We did, yes.
So it was you and about how many deputies?
I think total there was probably 5, maybe 6.
And did you then as a group approach the residence?
We did, yes.
At some point, were you granted entry into the residence?
Yes.
By whom?
The deputies had entered the residence upon my arrival. When I got there, they had already been inside.
Did you take steps to make sure that the scene was secure in terms of the house, Kim's body, any potential evidence?
Yes, we did.
How did you take those steps?
Well, we entered the house, we cleared the house. We also had deputies positioned at, in the driveway and alongside the house in case folks were to show up, we could keep everybody away.
And did that include any family members of the house?
That's correct.
Was that to keep the scene secure until detectives could get a search warrant and conduct the investigation?
Yes,
And to your knowledge, did that take place? Was the scene kept secure?
yes,
Did you yourself remain at the scene for a period of time?
I did, yes.
About how long?
I'd say I was there several hours. I was there after the detectives began their investigation.
During that several hours, were you able to observe Dan Howard?
Yes,
Dan Howard appeared.
yes,
Please point out, describe where he's seated, tell us what he's wearing.
you'd be to your left.
Next to his attorney, dressed in a gray coat.
Yes, sir.
In your observation of Mr. Howard there at his home, did anything catch your attention?
Yes,
What was that?
his demeanor and just his overall attitude, I would say.
What about his demeanor caught your attention?
The demeanor was different to me because there was, we spent a lot of time wanting to make sure we were comfortable as deputies, offering us coffee or food, and constantly offering us something that just was kind of strange as Katie's body was in plain sight, and it was just it didn't seem organic, it didn't seem the right setting.
Did you ever observe him covering his face or making noises that suggested he was in grief?
He was making noises, yes.
Did you ever see any actual tears?
No, I did not.
Have you been to many suicides in your career?
Yes.
Approximately how many?
Ballpark 100.
And based on your experience, was there anything unusual about this alleged suicide?
Yes, typically there's a lot of care and dignity for the loved one, for the body, and that was not the case in this event.
What do you mean?
Typically, family members will beg us for a pillow or a sheet or something to cover the body or to make them more comfortable. In this case, the female was naked, exposed, and there were a lot of deputies and personnel going in and out, and there just didn't seem to be any care for the dignity of the body.
No further questions?
Thank you, President.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, I did previously met Mr. Howard.
No.
You're aware that he's former patrol.
Yes.
scenes?
Yes,
So, do you know whether or not officers told him when they arrived that they need to do their thing?
I would imagine we would tell him that.
He would understand that more than most of the people that you're responding to, correct?
Objection. That calls into potential speculation into counsel's client's theory.
I'm going to overrule, it's fair cross based on the directives. Overrule.
DP, sir, sorry.
He would be, based on his experience, when told something like that, he would be in a position to understand that law enforcement has to do their thing, correct?
I believe that's possible, yes.
And so he's differently situated than many of the suicides that you respond to.
Objection. That calls for speculation as well.
Are they?
Okay.
You don't know his state of mind on that day, correct?
I do not.
Law enforcement was there, they were there, do you know what time it cleared?
No, sir.
It was many hours, correct?
Many hours, yes.
And so in that time, you're saying that within many hours, he offered to get you food and water?
It was water, something to eat, coffee,
Over the course of many hours?
more towards the beginning of the contact.
Redirect.
No, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Deputy Wheeler is next.
Deputy Wheeler, you're up.
They're going through all these people pretty darn fast.
Morning, sir. Morning. Ready to come forward, please? When you face my clerk and raise your right
Wonder
hand.
how he feels, all these cops wanting him to be locked up.
Investigating this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. We've got the seat there for the stand. Sir, I noticed you had some papers with you. Is that a report or something?
It is.
I noticed you placed it face down.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's fine. Just let us know if you need to refer to it so that we don't get referring to it at all.
Okay.
You may inquire.
Can you say your whole name and spell it out?
Benjamin Wheeler, Wheeler.
How are you employed?
As a deputy for Putin County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you been serving?
Approximately 4 years.
I assume that you've gone through Idaho Post.
Yes, sir.
Back on February 2nd, 2021, were you working?
Yes, I was.
How new of a deputy were you?
Very new.
Were you still in field training?
I was.
What does that mean?
It's about 14 weeks worth of on-the-job training with the field training officer. I was in week 5 or 6.
So kind of halfway through it?
Yes.
Or even a little less than that?
Correct.
Who was your field training officer on February 2nd, 2021?
Former Deputy 9.
So Deputy 9 no longer works for the Sheriff's Department?
He does not.
On that date, February 2nd, 2021, in the evening hours, did you get dispatched along with Deputy 9 to the Howard residence?
Yes.
And did you and other deputies wait until everyone from the law enforcement perspective had arrived before contacting the residents?
We did. There was a group of us that gathered before going to the residence.
As you walked up to the residence, did anything catch your attention?
Yes, that the garage door was open, there was a dog in the garage, and I didn't really hear much of any sound walking up to the house.
Did you go into the house through the garage or another way?
Into the house through the front door.
Did anyone let you in or invite you in?
Mr. Howard met me at the front door. Yes.
Is he here today?
Yes, he is.
Can you please point out and describe where he's seated, tell us what he's wearing?
He's seated to the left of you. Looks like a gray suit coat, purple shirt.
What was
upset and distraught, being very loud.
Did you and other deputies go into the house and assess the situation?
Yes.
What was your job pursuant to your training officer that evening?
My job was to go and find the victim and assess the situation before medical could come in.
Did you do that?
Yes.
Can you describe what happened?
I initially talked to Mr. Howard outside the front door, and then I walked past him into the house, looked around the living room, didn't see her. I didn't remember exactly where she was supposed to be, so I went back out and asked Mr. Howard where his wife was, and he said that she was in the bathtub upstairs. And so then I went back upstairs and found her.
This was Deputy
With Deputy Nye. Yes.
And can you describe what you saw in the bathroom?
I saw a woman naked in the bathtub with an apparent gunshot wound. There was blood around her coming out of her mouth.
Anything else you could observe in the bathtub besides her?
Yes, there was a gun laying to the right of her in the water, and there was the water was tinted red.
Could you see the gun through the water at the bottom of the tub?
Yes.
Did you mention you saw a shell casing as well, or not?
I don't recall.
From there, what did you do?
Once her pulse was checked, no pulse was found by Deputy Nye, called for medical, and then they came in and announced that she was deceased. And then we cleared the residence upstairs to make sure no one else was in the house. And then I stood by.
At some point, did you talk to Mr. Howard after you observed his wife dead upstairs in the bathroom?
I did.
Where did this take place?
Out in the front yard outside the front door.
And what was that contact all about?
I was trying to get a timeline from Mr. Howard of when he had last seen his wife and let him know that she was deceased.
Were you at some point after that assigned the duty of taking photographs?
Yes.
Who gave you that duty?
I believe it was Deputy Nye.
And did you end up taking photographs?
I did.
Let me show you a group of photographs that have been marked as 16A through 16F. I'm just going to show it to you and then flip them down briefly, okay?
Yep, you're exactly right. All of it is suspicious.
Recognize 16A through 16F?
I do.
What do you recognize those?
Photos that I took.
Would those photos include the stairs going up and down,
Yes.
the bathroom where the cane was,
Yes.
and yourself,
Yes.
the downstairs area?
Yes.
These accurate photographs giving what you saw?
Yes. Yes, they are.
And then 16A through 16F?
No objection. 16A through 16 were reviewed.
Move to publish the same?
You may.
Okay, we'll start with 16A. Tell us, would it be okay if you did that for the well section?
Sure. Mr. Wheeler, if you'd like to step into the area here that we call the well, you want to insert your photographs.
Can you tell us where you're at, what it shows?
I'm standing just inside the front door area, and that's photographed the stairway up to the bathroom and then down to the basement.
So basically, you're in the living room.
Yes.
16B,
That's just another photograph of the stairs going up to the bathroom.
C.
that's photographed from the stairway into the bathroom where Kendi is.
Can you see the top of Kenny's hair?
Yes, right there next
Take a
to
look at hair.
next to the files.
And then,
Wow.
what's that show?
That's a photograph of the inside of the bathroom, including Kendi in the bathtub and a person thrown on the counter.
And her glasses as well are on the counter.
Yes.
Are those items, her purse, her glasses, her phone, are they within arm's reach of the bathtub?
No, it would be difficult to grab those from where the bathtub is.
16 feet.
And that's just another photograph of the whole counter, showing those items from the previous photo. And that's a photograph, another angle showing the towel rack and then Kendi in the bathtub.
So 16F and the next one is 16G. Have Kendi's body been moved in any fashion also?
No.
This is just how she was when we got
Yes.
16G.
And that's just a view from up top overall of Kendi.
So are those bubbles near in the lower half of the photograph?
Yes, they are.
And what about the water temperature? Did you put your hand in there and see how warm that water was?
I don't remember if I put my hand in there, but I'm fairly certain I put my hand above the water and felt that it was still warm.
16H.
And that's a photograph of the firearm next to her in the water.
69.
That's a photograph of the stairway leading down into the basement.
16J.
That's a photograph in the basement. I believe right outside a laundry room with it's like a partially packed bag in the vacuum cleaner.
So the basement being the stairs going down,
Yes,
lead to this area right there.
correct.
16K. What's that?
That is a photograph of a folder on the counter, the bar counter downstairs. It appears to be from an attorney's office at law, as it says.
And then 16L.
That's a photograph I took of a handwritten set of assets that appeared to be with split.
Where was that in relationship to the attorney documents we saw in the preceding photograph?
It was next to it on the counter, on the bar counter.
Okay. Last one of yours I have is 16M. Tell us what that is.
That's a photograph of the washer and dryer. And I believe it was the dryer showing that it still had time left on it and it was going.
Now my next question is which is which?
I believe the dryer was on the left.
The dryer on the left has a 6 there, the digital 6 is the screen. What's that?
That's showing the time that's left in that cycle, I believe.
So when you walk downstairs after talking to Mr. Howard, after viewing Kendi, after getting your camera, that dryer still had 6 minutes to go?
Yes.
How long had you been there at that point by the time the dryer, when you took a photograph, had 6 minutes to go?
I don't recall exactly. I would say maybe 30 minutes. Does the photo have a timestamp on it?
We'll get that evidence out to other people that they can. I'm interested though, were there things inside the dryer?
Yes.
Did you ever look inside it, or was that another deputy detective?
I looked into it.
What did you see?
I could see that there was clothing, appeared to be bath towels, and possibly bathtub.
So it appeared to you that bath towels and bathrobes were drying in the dryer about a half hour after you got there, and the dryer was still running.
Yes.
You can take your seat. Later on, did a detective take photographs when you were there of basically the same things that you took photographs
Yes, I believe so.
of? Was that the Detective Jerry Northwood?
Yes.
I want to show you 3 of his photographs. Start with
What a horrible sight.
63C. Tell me if you recognize 63C.
I do.
What do you recognize?
The downstairs basement area near the bar counter.
Showing that wood stove.
It is, yes.
Beginning 63D. That basically the same thing from a different angle.
It is.
The last one, 63, again, same thing from a different angle.
Yes.
Now, I did take these photographs, but are they accurate photographs showing downstairs in the wood stove when you viewed that area?
Yes, they are.
Move to commit 63C, B, and M.
No picture. Those will be admitted.
Move to publish the same.
Amen.
Can you move back a while again, Judge?
Sure.
Leave that right there. It's kind of fading out on us.
Can we take the lights up?
Right.
Back down. Maybe take. I think you gotta be here to do this.
So, what are we looking at here in 62C?
This is a photograph in the basement area. It's like just to the right of the bar counter where the notepad list and then the attorney's folder was located.
Kind of hard to see that wood stove, isn't it?
It is.
So here, looking at 63C, we can see something on top of the wood stove, right there. What is that?
I believe that's a kettle of some sort.
Like a dehumidifier that you use on a wood stove?
Yes.
Like a kettle that you put water in that would get hot, that would sit on your wood stove to dehumidify a house that ran on wood heat?
Yes, that's what it appears to be.
Okay. And then 63D. Is that just a different photo showing a different angle of the downstairs to include the wood stove with the pot on it?
Yes, it is.
Here on that bar counter, is there anything there that we've seen a picture of already?
Yes.
What's that?
That handwritten list and then the attorney paperwork.
What was that? We saw a close-up in terms of your photos.
Yes.
All right, then the last one I have from Detective Norfolk, you've been able to admit into evidence, 63M. Same thing, different angle?
Yes.
Okay, showing the things that we've already described.
Yes.
Thank you. You may take your seat.
Thank you.
Were you there a long time that evening?
I believe several hours.
And during that time span, I think you talked about some of the things that you've done. During these different segments of time when you were given these assignments, were you wearing a body?
Yes, it was.
And did that body cam capture, for instance, your contact with Mr. Howard, reviewing the Kennedy, those types of things?
Yes, it did.
And let's start with, did you end up with a couple of different body cams, at least in terms of exhibits?
I did.
Okay, let's start with 9A and 9B. You recognize 9A?
Yes, I do.
What do you recognize that?
A DVD recording of my body cam video.
Does that capture a portion of the time you were there to include?
I think you're right.
It does.
And then,
I believe that is the transcript from my body cam video.
is that correlated with 9A?
It does.
Basically, the exact transcription.
Yes.
Is 9A a complete, or at least in terms of what it captured, correct and accurate in terms of your body cam and what you do that night?
Yes.
Move to get 9A, 9B.
Okay. This will be admitted. You may publish.
Here we go. Will they show stuff to us, or is it all going to be stuff we can't see? I don't personally want to see what the results were. I have a hard time believing she did this. Everything that they're saying as to how she was found doesn't even make sense to me. Not even a little bit. Like you said, some mentally ill want to be clean before going out.
Money for review will show there's an entry into the bathroom and so forth.
Yes, I believe so. It's been a while since I looked at it.
Okay. And I know that media is being vigilant about this, but just a reminder, of course, not to show anything. Thank you. Email publish.
Yikes. Hi, puppy.
Sir? Come on out! Come on out, sir. Over here, come on. Good, here. Come on. Sit up here, okay? Somebody stay with you. Okay. You want me to take over or you want to? Okay, well, where's she at? I don't know. Why don't you ask? Sir? Upstairs in the bathroom. She's upstairs in the bathroom? Okay, upstairs in the bathroom. Let's go. Come on. My pocket. She's in the bathtub.
Just how weird is that? Not likely that a woman would do what he's saying she did.
Yeah. Central 2307, send in medical.
It sounds a little unbelievable to me.
Yes.
What do you think? It is, isn't it, Melissa? And her friend said that she just hated guns. She didn't like them at all. So that makes this method even stranger. And they're saying the wound in her mouth went downwards, which again is very odd if that's the case. Hmm.
Hey, Dan. Dan? Hey, Dan, I'm Betsy Wheeler.
So I wonder if they check his hands. Like, it's it's odd. He's always got his hand holding one and then the other one in a pocket. Oh my God, he cannot act.
Hey, Dan.
Good Lord. And he keeps walking away from the cops, which is really weird.
Anyone like to get tips to my kids? Oh, God. Is there anyone we can call to give you some support or anything like that? Any family that... My son. Your son? You want us to give him a call? Do you have your son's number? I'll get your son's number from you. Does he live nearby? Right. Okay. What's your son's name, man? Wyatt. Wyatt. You know Wyatt's phone number off the top of your head? 683. 0832. Okay. Is there anyone else that you'd like me to call? Or you want me to just get a hold of Wyatt? I'll give your son a call, okay? Is there anything else we can do for you, sir? We could tell him. You want me to tell him anything, or do you want me to just tell him to come down here to see you? Okay.
Oh, is that right, Carrie?
Dan, I know this is hard, but when is the last
After
time
the
you saw your
fact,
wife alive?
whatever happened?
I know this is tough. How long ago? Can you recall? What time is it? Did you call 911 when you heard the gunshot? No. Okay. I didn't. What?
Oh, Jesus, Lord mercy.
I didn't think it was a gunshot. I was downstairs. Maybe you go on. It sounded like something hit the floor or something. I don't know.
It's about 11:15. Maybe 9:30 or so. I think. Okay.
Oh, good Lord. Every question he goes, oh, oh, oh. Good Lord, man.
Do you want to give Wyatt a call? Do you want me to just tell Wyatt to come here and meet you? Or I'm going to tell him. You want me to let you tell him or
Do they, Mexi?
I'm going to give him a call. I'll just tell him to come down here. Somebody's telling me this here. Okay. Okay. Slick out. Yeah, it is. We'll just give him a call and tell him to come down here, okay? Okay. Is there some shoes or something I can get for you? Okay. Let's hang out with him.
I just don't buy it.
First? No. See if I get it wrong.
House looks like it's nice.
Yeah, do you know your wife's date of birth?
That'll make him cry. Don't ask him a question.
4:37. Okay, thank you.
He's back in the house. Oops, just about. What are they doing? Hanging out? I'm surprised they let him back in, actually. Hmm. I really didn't think they'd let him back in the house. I'm a little surprised. Hmm. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Yeah, he's an interesting one too, isn't he, Melissa? Yipes. Oh, he was. He was, Melissa. Yep. Very sick. Sick in the pumpkin. I really wonder if they test his hands because, well, might be too late by this point, actually. Well, hello, Shauna. Good to see you again. I'd be losing it. Like, look at him over there. Not losing it. Unless he gets asked a question and then he loses it. Like, don't talk to me. God forbid you ask me questions. This house has it's built interesting. Hmm. I think so. I think so. Why is he so calm now? So that's the same hand he was holding his phone in or whatever it was. But I haven't seen his left hand really. He keeps. Oh, there it is. Okay, well, we're seeing his hands. Quite the mustache. What is he looking for? I think it's unusual he's not losing it right now still. Like these little movements. Is he over it already? Unreal, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit that bell. I stream at all different times, all different things. So you don't want to miss it. Maxi. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Well, if nothing else, you know that they were, in my personal opinion, fake. Probably standing there with his finger down his throat. What a weird situation, though, you guys. Like, they're not questioning him. They're not nothing. He's just sitting there. And when he was outside, he was just walking away from everybody. Don't they have questions? Like, I would think they'd have questions. I have questions. Zoom in on him again. I want to like see what he's got on him. Scratches, anything. Or did he just go in there and do the deed? Faker, faker. In my own opinion. Of course. Are you guys surprised they're not talking to him right now? Do they have no questions? Okay. Like they're not even asking him for his clothes. This is bizarre too. I don't quite understand their technique here. Like, why is he not facing them at all? What's going on here? Look at that. Like you'd think you'd want to talk to them. You'd think they would want to talk to him. How odd.
What's that?
Yeah, pretty much, Shauna.
I can't imagine what you're going through right now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I really don't. I can't imagine it.
Yeah, that's pretty much yeah, what's for dinner? Wow. Wowzer. Yeah, I guess he would know that trick, wouldn't he? Yeah, it's like what? Wow. I don't know what else to say, just wow. Oh, no. Head down. Yeah.
What's the dog's name? Scout.
And sometimes stippling. Hope they check his pockets for it. Faker, but waker. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll be interested if they have actually done anything because like why is he even in that house? I guess if he doesn't move, they know exactly where he's at. Isn't that interesting? Yes, you would, Nexie.
Just think it's probably a good time for a mid morning break, so only take 10 minutes. Remind the jury not to discuss this case and help yourself. All rise for the jury.
Oh, you faker.
We'll be back at 11.
Be back at what time did he say? Did you guys catch that? Did he say 1? Are they going for coffee or are they going for lunch? I'm gonna go back a little bit, guys. I want to hear what, like,
Just think it's very good time for a mid-morning break. Only take 10 minutes.
I got maybe 5 minutes to break. How long?
Just think it's very good time for a mid-morning break. So only take 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And remind the jury not to discuss this case among yourself.
All righty.
All rise for the jury.
Darkness falls, it's hard to see what my life has in store for me. Though it makes me wanna scream when I'm standing in the pouring rain. I feel like my hands are tied up in these rusty chains. I travel my mind for answers you see. The answer tonight that will set me free. You know it makes me wanna scream when I'm standing in the pouring rain. I feel like my hands are tied up in these rusty chains. thick of the night, and I see red. When the ghost man calls, you wish you were dead. Oh, it makes me wanna scream when I'm standing in the pouring rain. I feel like my hands are tied up in these rusty chains.
Mr. Howard with his hands over his face most of the time. Was that consistent with basically the entire time you were there when he was inside sitting at that stool?
It was.
Did you ever at any time, whether outside with Mr. Howard or inside, or were you seated at that bar with his hands over his face or seeing tears?
I did not.
got one more video to show you. It's been marked as 10A. You look at that, tell me if you recognize it.
I do.
You recognize that.
You're recording my body cam footage.
This would be, of course, a very, very old, exactly the time they left.
It was.
This is only a couple of minutes long.
Yes.
Is that an accurate recording? Essentially, what you can see in there.
It is.
And 10D is what?
That is a transcript of my body cam video. Yes. It is.
10A and 10D?
10A and 10D are.
We've published it.
Great, email published.
No further questions?
Thank you. Cross-examination, Mr. Johnson.
Bubbles' turn.
Good morning.
When you arrived at, around 22:46,
I believe that was the time I was dispatched. Maybe it was the time I arrived. No, that's what I wrote. That's in my report, but I responded at approximately 22:46.
And so when you say you responded, that means that you arrived at 22:46.
Usually in my reports, that is the time that I head to the call.
And then on the body cam, it has a time up there. That time matched what the time was.
I couldn't see the time from over here.
Okay. But you've had a chance to review your video,
I have.
and does it seem to match?
Yes.
Now, Deputy Nye, or your field training officer, Nye, he checked for pulse, correct?
Yes.
And you took other pictures on that day, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, what's on that?
You in?
Do you recognize, I'm referring to what's been marked as defense B 1 through 9. Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
Did you take that photo?
I did.
Do you recognize this photo?
Yes.
Did you take that photo?
Yes.
Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
Did you take that photo?
I did.
Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
Did you take that photo?
I did.
Do you recognize this photo?
Yes.
Did you take that photo?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Do you recognize this photo?
Yes.
Did you take that photo?
I did.
Do you recognize this photo?
Yes.
Did you take that photo?
I did.
Do you recognize this photo?
Yes.
Did you take that photo?
I did.
And finally, do you recognize this photo?
Yes.
Did you take that photo?
I did.
Move to admit defense B 1 through 9 honor.
Any objection? None. Those are good.
How long were you still on field training after this event?
I was in week 5 or 6, and the field training process is approximately 14 weeks.
Fairly early on.
Yes.
Was this your first suicide call?
I believe it was.
Just
Yeah.
lack of foundation with this suicide.
Call your own.
And
All right, I'll sustain the objection as to the characterization, perhaps you can rephrase it.
Well, you can approach on.
Leave it there.
Deputy, was this your first reported suicide call?
I believe it was the first reported. Yes.
That Victoria's Secret bag, let me back up. Were you involved with the meeting of other officers prior to your arrival?
As far as, can you further clarify that?
Prior to making contact with Dan at his residence, had you met with other officers prior to responding?
We grouped up together and then went to the residence.
At that meeting, were you aware of law enforcement call from Phoenix Park?
I don't recall.
No further questions.
Thank you. You need to adjourn? Thank you, sir. You may step down.
Thank you.
Next witness?
I don't think he was, but still, like, I hope they swabbed everything. A little concerning, right?
Maria, are you in that case of you?
Yes.
You come forward, man. And face my clerk, please raise your right hand, please swear.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You don't see your witness stand?
Okay.
You may inquire.
You could please state your full name and spell your last name for the record.
Lynette K. Acevedo, Acebedo.
And how are you feeling this morning?
Not great.
Is that why you're wearing a mask?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to slide that mic just a little bit closer to you. Make sure you speak nice and clear and slow, okay?
Okay.
What is your occupation?
I'm the Chief Deputy Coroner of Kootenai County
How long have you been in that position?
since 2015.
What exactly is a coroner?
As in, what do we do?
Sure.
Okay. We respond, or we are called to unattended deaths, anything medical, traffic, homicides, suicides, accidents, and natural disease processes.
Is that essentially what a deputy coroner would do as well?
Yes.
Chief deputy coroner?
Yes.
Do you hold any special training to perform that job?
I do. I am also an American Board Medical Legal Death Investigator.
Can you briefly describe what training is involved for a death investigator?
We go through all kinds of training from natural disease processes, working with several agencies, blood spatter patterns, injury patterns, any and all aspects of death.
Do you participate in ongoing training throughout your years as a chief deputy coroner to stay up to date in your field?
Yes.
And is there a difference between a death investigator and a coroner?
It varies in county to county and state to state in what training they have.
Does a coroner have more training than a death investigator?
The coroner has several different backgrounds. They can run from medical doctors to plumbers to a plumber.
Does the coroner take any role in issuing official documents?
We do.
Can you describe that process?
We issue death certificates.
And that death certificate includes certain types of information.
It does.
Is there a process by which the coroner, just generally speaking, fills out that death certificate form?
Yes.
Can you describe that?
Anytime a doctor will not sign a death certificate, either they don't feel comfortable signing it, even if it's their patient, the coroner's office can be assigned to sign that death certificate. And in any case that is not a natural death, the coroner's office does sign all death certificates.
Why do coroners investigate unattended deaths?
To make sure that there is nothing suspicious, nothing, no trauma, nothing other than a natural disease process that occurred.
In your career, how many deaths have you attended?
Thousands.
And would that be attended as well as unattended deaths?
Yes.
Would that be natural causes,
Yes.
accidents,
Yes.
suicides,
Yes.
and homicides?
Yes.
How does your role intersect with law enforcement?
We're 100% connected. We typically work side by side.
If there is a call for an unattended death, does law enforcement reach out to you?
They do.
And do you respond to death scenes?
Yes.
When you were there, did you conduct your own investigation?
Yes.
Can you describe generally what you would do if you responded to an unattended death?
Initially, we would get a call from dispatch and or a detective letting us know where we're going. We would go get to the scene. We would approach the first officer or deputy on scene. And we then would go to our detective and process the scene with them. Or sometimes it's after they've been there for a while. We would process the scene, take our photos, call the funeral home, get them processed for transfer to a funeral home.
Do you also assist in transporting bodies for autopsy?
Yes.
What is an autopsy?
It's a complete full forensic examination of the body inside and out.
Who decides whether a body in an unattended death is sent for autopsy?
We do, the coroner's office.
What is the point of sending a body for autopsy?
There's sometimes injuries and or natural disease process inside bodies that we cannot see. So we want to make sure that we're documenting any and all injuries and or illnesses.
Is it always necessary to have an autopsy in cases of unattended deaths?
No.
Can you give me an example?
If an elderly person is at their residence and they pass away from a natural disease process, we will not send for an autopsy. If somebody falls down and hits their head, we would send for an autopsy to see what kind of injuries they sustained, whether it would be from their head to their chest. If people are young and sick at home, young people shouldn't be dying at home, so we'll send because of an age. We send all car crashes, we send suicides, depending on wound tracks, and we send all homicides, or potential homicides.
Who performs autopsies?
Forensic pathologists.
Does Kootenai County currently employ a forensic pathologist?
We do not.
Who does Kootenai County utilize for autopsies?
The Spokane Medical Examiner's Office.
And do you facilitate in getting those bodies to the Spokane County Medical Examiner?
Yes.
Is it common for you to see bodies after they have been at the Spokane County Medical Examiner's office?
Yes.
Can you tell me what circumstances would allow you to see a body after autopsy?
They get returned to a funeral home of choosing, and we're often there on another case, following up on another case. Sometimes we'll go back and look at bodies just as part of our ending process.
Do you receive information from the Spokane County Medical Examiner as part of your investigation?
A total case, yes. Once it's finished, yes, we get a full report.
You also receive information from law enforcement?
We do.
What's your approach to witness?
2 minutes.
In the interest of journalism, I'm just going to hold this here for you. What do you recognize this document?
Yes.
What do you recognize this to be?
It's my resume.
Is this accurate and up to date?
Yes.
Does this accurately reflect your training and experience?
Yes.
Move to admit state 80.
Any objection? No. State 80 is admitted.
Thank you. You can have it, clerk. What is cause of death?
Cause of death can be anything from, natural disease process or cancer, age, down to suicide, homicide, blunt force trauma from car crashes, anything of that nature.
Is cause of death a lengthy list?
Very.
What about manner of death?
There are 5 types of manner of death.
What are those 5 types?
Homicide, suicide, natural, accident, and could not be determined.
who makes the determination as to manner of death in Bowie County?
The coroner.
And is that determination made based on the various sources of information and investigation that you just described?
Yes.
Is a manner of death determined by the coroner in unattended death cases?
Yes.
Is that different from cause of death?
It's a totality of cause of death.
In the, I think you said thousands of deaths that you have attended, are you able to ballpark for me how many of them have been suicides?
Oh gosh, hundreds, probably between 300 and 500.
Can you ballpark for me how many have been homicides?
I'd say less than 20.
You described that the coroner does their investigation and makes a death determination. Can that death determination ever be changed?
Yes.
What would cause a coroner's death determination to change?
New insight into a case, whether new investigations were done, new evidence was found, things of that nature.
Does undetermined as the manner of death, would that be the category that is most frequently changed?
Yes.
And would that be because that is changed to one of the other four manners of death?
Yes.
Were you employed on February 2nd of 2021?
Yes.
Were you chief deputy coroner at that time?
Yes.
Did you respond to the unattended death of an individual by the name of Kenny Howard?
Yes.
How long after law enforcement arrived did you arrive?
It was several hours after.
When you arrived, can you just sort of briefly describe the scene that you walked into?
I entered the residence into a living room area and was directed to an upstairs bathroom area and bedroom.
Who was present at the home at that time?
Dan Howard and law enforcement.
Did you have any interactions with Dan Howard?
No.
Was he pointed out to you by law enforcement?
No.
When you were directed upstairs, what did you do next?
I did a complete walkthrough of the area that I was going to be investigating and started taking photos shortly after of the entire scene.
Why would a coroner take photos of areas of the house that did not have a body in it?
It's part of an overall investigation that we do. With scene investigations on our side, we're looking at things differently than law enforcement in a lot of ways. There's just different investigative skills that we have, that we share with law enforcement, that we're just looking at things differently.
Then I'm going to approach you with what has been marked as states 17G Zoom, 17J, 17I, 17H, and 17G. And I'm just going to kind of flip through these photos for you. Let me know if you want me to go slower. Do you recognize these photos?
I do.
What do you recognize them to be?
My photos.
And are these photos of the house before you took photos of the body?
Yes.
And as far as 17G zoom goes, and 17G just by itself, is 17G zoom a zoomed in portion of 17G?
Yes.
Okay. Move to admit 17G, HIJ, and 17G zoom.
Any objection? Those will be admitted.
Okay, Lynn, I'm going to start you off with 17G. Move to publish.
You may publish it.
Thank you. Lee, what part of the house are we looking at here?
This is the master bedroom.
Was there something about this part of the master bedroom that caught your attention?
No, it's just an overall at first.
Okay. Why did you take this picture?
In this particular picture, I don't know if you can see them, but there's little tiny shards of glass on the carpet.
And 17H?
It's a closer close-up photo of the carpet with the glass.
Did you also document where the body was located?
I did.
Where was the body located?
In the bathtub, in the upstairs bathroom.
Can you describe for me what you observed when you walked in that bathroom?
I observed a clean bathroom. It was very clean. It was there was a purse on the counter. There was a cell phone on the counter, and there was a female laying in the bathroom.
Did you document what you observed in that bathroom as you documented other parts of the house?
Yes.
Commissioner Broach?
You may.
Okay, Lynn, I'm going to just put those there for just a second. I'm going to show you what's been marked as 17A, B, C, D, E, and F. I'm going to flip through these. Do you recognize these photos?
Yes.
What do you recognize them to be?
Those are my photos.
Are these accurate photographs that you took?
Yes.
Do they clearly depict the scene as you observed it that night?
Yes.
Move to admit 17A through F.
No objection. 17H, your F are admitted.
Move to publish.
You may publish it.
Okay, Lynn, what observations did you make initially about Kenny Howard?
It just seems abnormal. The way her body is in the bathtub appears abnormal to me.
I'm going to show you 17D. And as I'm doing that, if you would elaborate on what you felt was abnormal about the positioning.
So in this picture, one of the things that kind of struck me is that her hair is across her face, which she pulls her hair up to take a bath. It is in a clip, and so why would she?
Judge, I can ask the witness to rephrase that, I think.
Okay. Awesome. Sustain. Move the jury. Jury will disregard the very last part of the phrase, the last part of the question. Okay. Lady did this. So the answer was that it kind of struck her as odd because the hair was across her face. That's fine. The part about precisely what she did to take a bath was speculation. So I'll strike that.
Were you able to observe whether or not Penny Howard's hair was up or down?
Yes.
Was it up or down?
Up.
Was there something holding it up?
I can't tell what it is.
Okay. Were you able to observe it that night?
That it's up?
Was there that there was something in her hair?
I did not know.
Okay. Was there hair that was not being held up?
Yes.
And that's what struck you as odd?
Yes.
Okay. Was there anything about the bath water that struck you as odd?
It didn't seem blood tinged enough for a bullet wound.
Objection, foundation.
I'll ask that you lay more foundation for that.
Of the thousands of deaths that you have attended, have you attended deaths that involved water?
Yes.
Have you attended, let me back up. Have there been many deaths that you have attended that involved water?
Yes.
And of those many deaths that you have attended that involved water, did they also involve injuries that resulted in blood?
Yes.
And of those many deaths that you attended involving water and involving blood, have you had observations to observe blood in water?
Yes.
What about the bath water in this case drew your attention?
There wasn't enough blood in the water.
Objection, foundation.
Overruled.
Have you also had opportunities to observe deaths that involved gunshot wounds?
Yes.
And of those deaths that you had the opportunity to observe that involved gunshot wounds, did those deaths involve blood from those gunshot wounds?
Yes.
And have you had the opportunity to observe the amount of blood as a result of those gunshot wounds?
Yes.
Many times?
Yes.
I'm going to show you E. Is this what you are describing?
Yes.
I'm going to show you F. Was there a reason you took this picture?
The way the blood was lying
Objection,
on
non-responsive.
Overruled.
the way the blood was lying on her skin didn't appear to lie naturally if she was lying in a tub and shot herself in the mouth. That blood pattern is off.
Struck you as odd.
Objection, foundation.
You can first.
And every time they complain, I think the witnesses really want to say what they've seen without any problems. Just my opinion.
We're going to take this up in a little bit more detail with the attorneys, so Members of the jury, I'm just going to excuse you briefly.
Turn the lights on.
You can be seated. Mr. Johnson, you can state your objection in more detail.
Thank you, Your Honor. And this is no regard of offense to Mr. Vito, but the coroner's job is not to be a blood expert or discuss lines, or that they coordinate with medical examiners, law enforcement, and basically they have a role. But they don't have the experience of medical professionals to give expert opinions on blood lines, blood loss, all that. Here we have an associate's degree with a medical certificate. That is not proper foundation for to give an opinion on the blood lines are off, or how much blood should there have been, or the water was too dark. I noticed they only showed 2 photos when they're emphasizing that point. But the point is, there hasn't been enough foundation to elicit that testimony.
Thank you. Ms. Shelston, will you your response?
Thank you, Your Honor. First of all, Ms. Acevedo was noticed to the defense as an expert in this case. She gave testimony at the grand jury where she talked about all manners of things that are involved in being a death investigator and a coroner. Those included her observations of things that were odd, strange, and different from what she would expect to see based on the thousands of deaths that she has attended over the course of her career. She is very experienced. She has seen thousands of deaths. She was noticed to the defense, and Judge, her testimony here today is not going into the areas of medical opinions. She is noting things that, based on her training and experience, stood out to her as being odd. She ultimately is involved in making a determination, and the things that she is noting are what part of what led her to that determination.
Thank you.
Your Honor, just because an expert is listed, the jury still needs to hear the proper foundation on what their experience is and the scope of their expertise. And their opinion is limited to that scope of expertise. There has been no foundation for an expert opinion. Whether or not they've been listed as an expert, you still have to go through that process.
Thank you. All right, well, Ms. Acevedo testified to being the chief deputy coroner for Union County, that she has attended thousands of deaths, and that she's attended, she's ballparking between 300 to 500 suicides, less than 20 homicides. She described her she didn't necessarily describe her training in great detail, but she explained what her training was. Plaintiff's Exhibit 80 has been admitted into evidence, and so it's in evidence, which lists her CV or resume. Shows her extensive work history as a chief deputy coroner since 2004. Indicates she's had hundreds of hours of training in all types of death. These were hundreds of death scenes along with multi-person death scenes. On the stand, she indicated it being thousands. She described her role as a chief deputy coroner in determining causes and manners of death and certifying those. I think she's certainly established expertise by knowledge, skill, and experience, as well as training and education, to testify in these areas as to cause of death, manner of death. She's testifying as to from her experience, what was suspicious about the scene. That seems certainly well within her province as a coroner and as an expert, based on, again, her training, experience, education, and all that. This is all well within her purview to testify to. Certainly, there are certainly grounds for cross-examination. It doesn't mean her opinion is unassailable, but in the court's view, her testimony would be helpful in the jury in understanding an area outside of the normal person's expertise. And again, looking at 702, I think she's well within it. She's been disclosed, no surprise here. And I agree. I mean, just simply listing her as an expert in discovery doesn't mean she is an expert, but based on her testimony here today, I find that she is in this area, and testimony elicited is appropriate. So I'm overruling the objection.
Your Honor, to indicate what we would want the state to do, and we would expect to do the same with our experts, is to lay the proper foundation and tender to the court as an expert in whatever. What the fear is that they're going to try to bootstrap someone else's work on bruising or anything like that she's not an expert in. And so we would ask that the state tender a witness as an expert in a certain category.
Thank you, Judge. I don't mean to cut you off. I would just like to respond to that.
You may briefly.
Thank you. I'm an attorney that worked in another jurisdiction prior to coming to Idaho, and in that jurisdiction, the rules specifically required tendering of experts in a finding by the court. That is not within the state of Idaho's rules. State of Idaho rules fall under 702. The state has certainly complied with that, and there is no need for a formal tendering under the rules in Idaho.
I agree. There's not a requirement for a formal tender, and if there's an attempt to bootstrap something that's outside the expertise, then certainly I'll sustain an objection to it. But at this point, she's testified to her credentials. She's now moved into her testifying consistent with those in our file. All right, objections overruled. Bring the jury back in. Council, I'll probably still plan to break it and just, for about 10 minutes.
Okay. when you were explaining why you took this photo.
Correct. Again, the blood resting on her skin didn't appear to be in a normal form for someone that has shot themselves intraoral.
You used the phrase intraoral, what does that mean?
Inside the mouth.
I'm going to approach you with a couple more photos. I'm sorry, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, yes, it was.
Got a couple more that are marked Zoom, 17A Zoom, 17A Zoom 2, and 17C Zoom. Do you recognize these? Did these correspond with not being Zooms of the photos we just previously looked at? And I'm also going to show you 17M. Do you recognize this? What do you recognize this to be?
Photo that I took of Kitty's feet.
It's accurately depicted as you observed it that night?
Yeah.
So to admit 17M, 17C Zoom, 17A Zoom, and 17A Zoom 2.
Okay, objection? Those are admitted? You see, can publish them?
May I publish? This is what's been marked as 17M. Can you describe what we're looking at in this picture?
It's a picture of Miss Howard's feet as they were resting in the tub.
Why did you take this picture?
It's a strange position for somebody's feet to be in a bathtub.
Was there anything else about the water that drew your attention about, well, I'll rephrase. Was there anything else about the scene itself that drew your attention?
I observed that it didn't appear to be a natural bath setting, in that, as a female myself, when I take a bath, I typically have my phone near me. I have a towel or a robe close to me, for when I get out. In this instance, all of the towels that were present were decorative towels, placed very perfectly. They're decorative towels. Usually we don't use those kinds of towels in a bath. The purse and the phone were on the counter, and I don't take my purse to the bathroom with me. Some people may.
I didn't hear you.
There's no response.
That's a narrative. I'll just ask the stage to direct further the question.
Sure. So you noted that there were decorative towels in the bathroom, correct?
Correct.
Did you observe a towel that appeared to be for use after a bath?
No.
Were there any clothes in the bathroom?
No.
Is there a bathrobe in the bathroom that appeared to be for use?
Nothing I observed.
So you only saw decorative towels?
Correct.
You talked about the phone and purse. Were those positioned within arm's reach of the tub?
No.
Was there anything about the bath mat that you noted?
It was saturated wet.
Was there anything,
Are you serious?
was there anything about
I'll look for a link and see if they've got it.
Kendi's upper body that you noted and beyond the hair? And I'm going to show you 17E.
blood on her face is not going in a proper direction.
Did that appear odd to you based on your training and experience?
Yes.
Were you able to observe a firearm in the tub?
Yes.
Were you able to observe a casing in the tub?
Yes.
At some point, were you present when law enforcement drained the water from the tub?
Yes.
In doing that, were steps taken to preserve evidence?
Yes. A measurement of the water was done, as well as a sample of the water was taken.
After the water was drained, were steps taken to remove Kendi from the tub?
Yes.
I'm sorry. After she was removed from the tub, were steps taken to bag her body?
Yes.
And in doing so, were steps taken to preserve any potential evidence that may be present on her body?
Yes.
Can you describe that process?
Her hands were bagged with paper bags, both were bagged, and zip tied and sealed.
Nope,
How
me either.
far up the arm do those bags go?
Oh, probably mid-arm.
At the time that Kendi Howard was being placed into a body bag, did you continue to document as you had previously?
Yes.
Did you take photographs of Kendi once she was in the body bag?
Yes.
And permission to approach with 17L and K?
You may.
Do you recognize these photos?
Yes.
What do you recognize these photos to be?
Kendi Howard in the body bag.
Are these your photos? Do they accurately picture as you saw her that night?
Yes.
Move to admit 17L and K.
Any objection?
Move to publish.
You may. They are admitted.
Why did you take this photo?
It's a normal photo for us to take pictures of people's necks. Always.
Is there anything about this neck that stood out to you?
In this particular picture, it shows sparing. What's called sparing.
And what is sparing?
Foundation.
I'll move on.
Sounds like she was gonna tell you what it was.
I'll withdraw the question for now.
All right.
Why did you take this picture?
Again, the blood is going in the wrong direction.
And when you say the blood, which specific area of the blood are you referring to?
The blood on the nose?
What about the blood on the cheek?
Yes. Sorry, I can't see that.
If you need to, ma'am, if you need to step out of here, if it would help your testimony, feel free to step out and you can refer to the screen better. We probably have a point to
The blood that is on her cheek has some overlay blood on it, but the blood on her nose is running in an upward position, which again is going the wrong way for somebody that has a head down in a backpack from a gunshot wound to the mouth.
Thank you. You may retake your seat. Your Honor, you previously indicated that you wanted to stop at noon.
correct.
I'm about to veer into a different line of questioning, so I don't know if you want to stop now or not.
Sure. That was pretty natural time to stop, so we'll stop for our lunch hour. Plan to see you all back at 1:30. Remind you not to discuss the case among yourselves or with anyone else. Very fortunate.
Okay, so I am not going to stream this afternoon's. I am going to keep my eyes peeled for James Crumbly's trial. It sounds like they're getting things together. So I don't want to be in the middle of streaming something and then miss it. So, guys, thank you very much for hanging out with me. Hard to listen to this one, right? Not the best as far as hearing, and it's, I don't know. I don't know. They can do their thing. We'll watch James Crumbly. So, guys, thanks for being here with me. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Make sure you hit that bell because as soon as I see something on James Crumbly, it'll be a go. Okay, guys. So, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.
Dun 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 dun.